This is Cogarnach. This video is going to be another random WikiSurfing video. For those of you who haven't heard one of my previous ones on the subject, it essentially is a video of me on Wikipedia hitting the random article button scan